Hi everyone, this is still Amarachi Nwongo. So today I'm going to be demystifying or debunking or stating the real facts, correcting some of the misconceptions people have about breastfeeding or breast milk. We hear a lot of things. Even I had a lot of things when I was single, when I was pregnant. Before I gave birth to my baby, I was hearing a lot of things. Okay, but being a dietitian, I was able to tell the truth from myth, facts from myth, facts from fallacy, and all that. They are all natural phenomena. People say all manner of things about so many things, but one important thing you have to do is to find out the correct information from the correct authority, from the right authority. Okay, so I'm going to be debunking 8 myths people have about breastfeeding and breast milk. Yes, the number one you hear is that the breast milk or your breast milk can get soured or is soured after a day or more of not breastfeeding your baby. It's quite funny. Belisa, is it soup? It is not soup or bofe. It is inside the body, and the body, just like the blood and every other bodily fluid, they are inside the body and you are still living. They are warm. The short of the matter of the truth is that as long as it is still inside your body, inside the milk ducts where the milk are stored, nothing, even if you don't breastfeed your baby for 1 month, nothing is wrong with the breast milk. It's not going to go bad. It will not get soured. The only problem you might get or encounter is breast engorgement leading to pain. That is why if you listen to my previous video on what to do or how to express breast milk if you're traveling or if you're going to be away from your baby, you will. So that is the only problem you can encounter, and there is a solution. The solution is that you have to let that milk down. It is a natural phenomenon. When it fills up, it must go out. What goes up has to come down, so that milk must go out. So either you find your baby and breastfeed him or her. But if you are away from your baby, that is why, if you have not watched the first video on what to do when you are going to be away from your baby, how to express and store breast milk, go to my page, Amarachi Nwongo, or my YouTube, or any of my social media handles. Go and look for it. You will see it and you know what to do exactly to save yourself from this problem of breast engorgement and the pain that follows thereafter. That is the only challenge you can encounter. The breast milk will not get soured or they are walker. It amazes that even some nutrition professionals, they will tell you that yes, one time I traveled for an exam and I was telling someone that I didn't come with my baby. My baby is at home. They say, okay, now that means from here you stop breastfeeding the baby. I said no. When I go home, when I go back, I will continue where I stopped. They said, another person said, the milk will get sour. Now got walker milk now, breast milk now walker. I smiled. I said no, breast milk and I walker. It doesn't get soured. That I will continue breastfeeding my baby when I get home. I stayed for I think a day or two. When I came back home, I continued breastfeeding my baby, and that baby is now 3 years going to 4 years. I don't know where that is coming from. No, just take it like the blood in the vein, the breast milk in the milk ducts. So nothing is wrong with it. The only problem is that because you are breastfeeding, that has been triggered, so the breast will keep refilling with milk, and you need to go out, you need to give it out to the baby, and if you don't, it will be excessively engorged and becomes painful. That is the only problem. So number one, breast milk does not get soured when it is inside your milk duct or your body. It can only get bad, get soured, bitter when it leaves the body. If it comes out from your body and you don't store it properly, that is when it can only get soured or get bad. So look for the video on expressing and storing breast milk to learn more. So the number 2 myth is that people will tell you that you have to drink plenty of milk to produce enough or plenty milk, like more milk in, more milk out. But it sounds I don't know, it sounds like it is in line, but no, it is not in line. It is not true. Okay, whatever you eat, all you need to do is to eat well, get enough energy from your food, eat an adequate diet. Look for my other videos on adequate diet and all that. Adequate diet, take enough fluid, not only water, and not alcohol or like palm wine or any other alcohol, but fluid that is healthy for you as a nursing mother and for the baby too. You have to consider the baby when you're breastfeeding. Note, whatever you are eating, consider the baby that is breastfeeding, because even when you are taking drugs, the baby is getting whatever taken. That is the truth. So you don't need to take enough milk. Although you can take milk if you have money or if you see milk, but if you don't see milk, there are other sources of protein. I have done a video on that. Go and look for it. Maybe I will leave the link here. So if it is eba, like me personally, I like eba in the morning. Some people will say, okay, maybe you take tea. Like tea is, is like water is in a fluid form. But for me in the morning, tea is a no. It can go for me in the afternoon or in the night, but in the morning, no, I would prefer eating eba or apple or any other food in the morning than tea. So look for the food that will make you comfortable, okay, and then also drink enough water and other fluid, and you're good to go, and your breast milk will be flowing very well. Another thing that will help is the frequency at which you breastfeed your baby. If you hold your breast and breastfeed your baby less frequently, it will not flow very well. But if you continuously breastfeed the baby on demand, it will help to stimulate the muscles. The hormones will be triggered to produce and release more breast milk. I receive a lot of questions from people asking me, dietitian, what should I eat for my milk to flow very well? My milk is not flowing very well and all that. Eat a healthy diet, food that has, what is an adequate diet? Food that has carbohydrates, protein, fat, vitamins, mineral and water in them. Look for them. Make sure that the food you are eating has carbohydrate giving you energy, protein for build up and all that, fat, you cannot run away from fat, vitamins coming from your fruits and vegetables, and then finally water. That is what composes an adequate diet, and it should be found in your food on daily basis. So if you are breastfeeding and you are eating in this line, drinking enough water, having enough rest, okay, and breastfeeding your baby more frequently on demand, you will produce enough breast milk. And if you say milk, you can also take milk, but you don't necessarily need to drink plenty of milk for you to produce enough breast milk. So whoever that is telling you that is not true. So the next one, is people say that a child cannot be satisfied or adequately nourished on breast milk alone. It is not true. It is not true, because the way God made the breast milk, it is complete. Although it is in a fluid form, but it is complete and has the ability to sustain and nourish your baby for 6 months. The first 6 months of life, your breast milk, if you breastfeed your baby very well, if you follow the steps I have listed in my videos about adequate diet and how to breastfeed your baby, how to position your baby. Another thing is positioning. That maybe I will do another video on that, and if you would like to see a complete video on positioning, let me know so that I'll work on that. The breast milk only can sustain and adequately nourish your baby for the first 6 months of life. After 6 months, it can no longer do that job. You need to introduce complementary foods and water. This is the time you introduce water. And this brings me to the third point, or myth, or fallacy, or whatever, that a child cannot survive or cannot live without water. A child, for the first 6 months of life, is supposed to take only breast milk. It is called exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life. It is not a theory, it is not a hearsay, it is a reality, and it is the best thing for a child. If you have a new baby, if you give birth, the best thing you can do for this child is to breastfeed him or her for complete good 6 months. Use breast pump if you are working. You can do it. The benefit is not only for the baby. You are benefiting as a mother. The baby is also benefiting, and it is not just that benefit you are getting at that particular point in time, like losing the pregnancy weight and all that. Long-term benefit for you and the baby. The baby will be excessively intelligent, and at that point you are exclusively breastfeeding the baby. This baby will be saved from childhood diseases like diarrhea and other pneumonia that are childhood killer diseases. So save your child and save your money by exclusively breastfeeding your baby. Yes, I stand here to tell you that I have 3 kids. I'm not bragging, but I want to be real with you, realistic, so that you know that you can do it, that it is not a theory, it is something you can do. I have 3 kids, and I exclusively breastfed the 3 of them for complete 6 months without giving a drop of water right from the minute they were born. Yes, that will take me to the 4th, or to the next point. But before I go into that, know that the breast milk has 90% water. So the water you are trying to bring from another source, that breast milk has it in enough quantity. Look at your breast milk. 90% of it is water. So this baby does not need extra water. If you are giving extra water, you are over diluting this baby's food, and this baby will be undernourished. That is why some people complain that their baby are not gaining weight, because you are the cause, because you feed the baby water and less nutrients. When you breastfeed the baby very well on breast milk, the baby will gain weight and grow very well, and you save your money, save your energy, and save your time. And note, when you are getting water from another source, remember that this is just a new baby and the body is so vulnerable. Water can be contaminated. Even if it is bottled water, you are not sure of how it was produced, the production quality and all that. So why don't you utilize the one God has given you? You can do it if you are determined. I want to share a story with you quickly. Okay, when I had my second baby, someone told me that before the baby gets to 4 months that I will get tired of the exclusive breastfeeding. I didn't like doubt the person or argue with the person or try. I just said and within myself and in my mind I said, I will prove you wrong. And I proved the person wrong. I didn't tell the person that I will prove him or her wrong. And when I did not also inform him or her, because the exclusive breastfeeding I did was for my baby's benefit and mine. So I don't need to inform him or her. All I need to do is to achieve my goal. When you set a goal, when you are focused, you can achieve it. So the next one is that the breast milk cannot start flowing as early as 30 minutes. Yes, it is advised that if you are strong enough, immediately after putting to bed, you start your baby on the breast within 30 minutes or even immediately. Some people say, how can I need to sleep, I need to rest? No, you can do it, and it helps you more because it will help to facilitate the stimulation and the production and the let down of the breast milk, most especially if you prepare the breast ahead of time. I will do another video on that. You have to prepare the breast ahead of time in order for it to start flowing when the baby comes, or some will start flowing before the baby arrives. So the breast milk can start flowing while you are still in the labor ward within 30 minutes to 1 hour. It is all up to you. But if it doesn't, don't give up and don't run to go and look for something else to give the baby or to give glucose water. Have patience. You have to do one thing: continue breastfeeding the baby whether the milk is flowing or not. The baby will be suckling. If you have enough strength, continuously place the baby on the breast. That suckling action will stimulate it to start flowing. My own story, sorry that I'm using myself as an example a lot. I don't know any other person I will use as an example. I will have to use myself as an example because one, I am a dietitian and I am a mother. At least I've had 3 experiences. So when I had my first baby, it was difficult for my breast milk to start flowing, although I prepared the breast ahead of time, because sometimes everything might not work out like exactly, but you need to have patience and stay focused. So it didn't start flowing when I was still in the ward. I didn't give up. In fact, people around me didn't know that my breast milk was not flowing. Even when I was in the ward, my baby kept on crying and crying. So my neighbor in the ward was asking me, are you sure your breast milk is flowing? I said, yes, it is flowing, because I didn't want anybody to discourage me. I continued. The baby, although the baby suckled and the baby will like get frustrated because the milk is not coming out, I continued. And I said, God help me that this breast milk, I don't want to give my baby any other thing. So even my husband was agitated, like get something and give to this baby. I said no, that the breast milk will flow, and God helped me and it started flowing, and I didn't give my baby anything. So you have to put more efforts. Another wrong fact people state out there is that colostrum is bitter and unacceptable, that it should be removed first before commencing the real breastfeeding, or before the real breast milk will start flowing. Jesus Christ, it's not true. That colostrum is the first immunization for your child. In fact, it is the best. That first one that is yellow and flows for a very short time, when the milk starts flowing, that one that starts coming out, please make sure the baby gets it, because it doesn't flow for long. It comes out for a few days and vanishes. It will not come back again until you have another baby. So don't allow that baby to miss it. Take it today and tell others and share it. It is the first immunization. It will protect your baby for life. Next, this one I think is embedded in some of the points I've made earlier. Some people will tell you that exclusively breastfeeding a child for the first 6 months of life is not possible, or breastfeeding a child for up to 2 years is not possible. It is very, very possible. So the last point, which is very, very important, because sometimes unforeseen things, unforeseen circumstances happen. You might find yourself in this condition, and what are you supposed to do so that you don't make mistake? That is breastfeeding while pregnant. I don't know if you have had of it before, or it has happened to you before. Some people will tell you, if you are pregnant, stop breastfeeding your baby. And I want to put it right. Okay, sometimes you will still be breastfeeding and get pregnant unknowingly. Maybe you didn't plan it. So it happens, and it can happen to anybody. Okay, one, family planning can fail. Two, it might be a blessing in disguise. God might want to bless you with another baby as soon as possible. However you see it, know that it is not a curse. The most important thing is for you to manage yourself very well, to take care of yourself, take care of the one you are carrying, the young one, and take care of the one in the womb. Okay, so if peradventure your baby is still very young and tender, most especially less than 1 year, you can still continue breastfeeding this baby while you are pregnant. Nothing will happen to the child you are breastfeeding and the one in your womb and to you. Some people will say it makes the child sick, it can make the child to get sick and all that. That is a myth, and that is their psychology. Okay, it is just an imagination. It is not true. If it happens, no one, of course you have to plan yourself, but if somehow it happens, know that it is not the end of life. It can be a blessing. You know why I'm saying that? So what are you supposed to do if this baby is less than, even if the baby is more than 1 year, and you still want to continue breastfeeding this baby? Maybe your goal is to breastfeed your baby for up to 2 years or 1 year and more, and you get pregnant along the line. Continue with your goal. Your baby, you, and the one in the womb will be perfectly fine. The only challenge will be maybe stress. You become stressed, but if you get help, get enough rest, eat well, eat adequately, both you, the two babies, both the one coming and the one on, will be fine. But if the stress becomes too much that you can't take it anymore, and maybe by God's grace your baby is up to a year, you can stop. But one thing I want you to take away from this video today is that breastfeeding while pregnant is not a problem at all. So share with others so that they can learn. And if you have any question or any particular information for me to share about breastfeeding, let me know and I will answer them. And bye bye. I'm Arachi. Wow. Thank you.